Hey Marco, thank you again for having me back here on the Faithful One. Uh, the topic that's been going around here on the Faithful One is discipleship, and I believe I'm the fourth episode here on the topic of discipleship. Uh, I believe he's doing like this for a month or so, 2 months maybe, somewhere around that, just talking about discipleship. Today I'm going to be in John 8, verse 31, so I'm just start reading there. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. What he means by this is when we're in his word, we should be in his word daily. When we pick up our cross, that's reading our word daily, doing works for him, because we know in Ephesians it says faith without works is dead. Our faith should be producing works, it should be producing fruits, and all that stems from reading his word. The word is the living reading of God. It's Jesus in this word. Like you see in the Bible, there's red text. That's all from when Jesus is talking. It's all talking of Jesus. That's why the texts are red, to discern from which is which. And we can all learn from Jesus, and we can all learn to be a better disciple from Jesus, from what Jesus did in his earthly ministry. And Jesus had 12 disciples, uh, 12 all faithful disciples. Well, one betrayed him, but they all were willing to go to the cross and die for him. Peter, or was it John, that got crucified upside down? They stood on their belief till death. That is the kind of discipleship we should have for Jesus. Now, I'm not saying, I'm pretty sure, because Jesus, if he wanted to, he could have, when he was on that cross, he could have called down a legion of angels and just wiped out the whole earth. I'm pretty sure if all of us were in that situation, we would have called the angels down. We don't want to take that pain. Nobody does. But that's what Jesus did for us, and we should be disciples of him by teaching his gospel and what he did for us, and that sacrifice for us. Because when we get saved, you can be saved and not be a disciple, but when we get saved, we should have the Holy Spirit. We have the Holy Spirit in us, and we should have that desire to go tell others about what God has done in our lives, and the joy that he has brought to our lives, and the hope that he has brought in our lives through being saved by his sacrifice on the cross. That should make us want to be a disciple for God. You can be saved and not be a disciple for God. You can be saved and be like, oh, well, I just don't have a desire to do it. I don't want to do it. It's scary. It's not really in my realm. We're all called to the Great Commission. We're all called to be disciples. We are all called to do his work, to be a servant of God. That is why he created us, to give him the glory and to make the kingdom of heaven bigger. That is why we should be disciples. We need to tell others about him. We need to give him the glory. We need to tell others about him, get others saved, expand the kingdom of heaven. That's what it's about, being a disciple. And we should have the desire to be a disciple. We shouldn't want to stay in that lukewarm state. We don't want to stay as a lukewarm Christian. We don't want to stay as a dead Christian. We want to be a blooming Christian, a disciple of God, a worker of God. That's what I think about. I have a lot of friends from the local school I play baseball for. Most of them say they're saved. They're all doing all that. I'm not calling them out or anything, but they all say they're saved, but you can tell by the way that they act. They don't truly want a relationship with Jesus. They don't want to grow in their relationship with Jesus. They're constantly cursing. They're constantly going against what God says to do. I mean, that's a lukewarm to dead Christian state. I mean, at that point, it says, those who endure to the end shall be saved. So we should be enduring through Christ, through this world. Christ in us is what should be getting us through this world. And we should be a disciple for him through what he's done for us and what he's going to get us through this world. Because he will bring us through every single temptation, every single thing that we battle with, everything that's wicked. He saved us in this world. He saved us. Everything that is wicked, he can deliver us from all that nasty junk stuff, drugs, all of it. I mean, gone. That's how powerful Jesus is. That's how powerful God is. That's what he has done in our life. We need to testify that to other non-believers, and we need to tell them what God has done in our lives. It's really convicting when you think about it. When I strive to be in my word daily. I strive to look more like Jesus every day. That's what I strive to be doing. But in the end, I still mess up. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect, except for the one Jesus Christ. He's the only perfect man that has ever walked the face of this earth. Nobody else is. Not a single person. And it's convicting because we strive to look like Jesus, but we can never be like Jesus. We're never going to be perfect, no matter how hard we try. No man is perfect. No, not one. It's in the Word. It's a truth. What we see in the Word is the truth. So we know that it's 100% true when he says, no man is perfect, no, not one. We should try to be perfect. We should try to live just like Jesus Christ did and be a disciple for him and do all these works for him and serve him with our full life. But we're never going to be perfect in the end. But it almost, sometimes I think about it and it makes me feel almost like those lukewarm Christians that I was talking about, my friends on the, it makes me feel like them when I fall down. I'm like, man, do I really even love God? Do I really even love Jesus? It makes me question stuff. But I have that assurance in my heart that I am saved by Jesus Christ, and I know what he has done for me in my life, and the joy that he has brought, and the hope that he has brought, and I have that assurance through him. And the discipleship part helps with that, because the more that we are in our word, the more that we know, the more that we study, the more that we get to know and grow in our relationship and mature in our relationship with Jesus Christ, it will help us with assurance, and it will help us. Earlier when I talked about the people that aren't very good with talking, like they said they don't want to do it, don't want to be a disciple for God because they're not very good with talking, not very good with talking to other people about Jesus, and just they don't really want to do that. A lot of it can be better matured and grown and done better when we read our word. It will help us talk easier. You should have heard me 2 years ago. I couldn't say a word. I wouldn't be able to say a word at this phone screen recording me right now. I wouldn't be able to say a word. That's convicting, because that shows what God has done in my life. 2 years, and I've come as far as I have come. That shows what God has done in my life, and I need to testify of that. I need to be a disciple of God and show that to other non-believers that need to hear that and need to see the hope and need to see the joy that I have through Jesus Christ. And that's what we should be doing. We should be disciples of God, teaching the unsaved. Thank you, Marco.